Hey guys, Josh from Sportitude here, and today we have got a shoe review, and the shoe review is on the Asics Gel MetaRun, this shoe right here in my hand. So I'm actually holding the men's sample, and if I happen to be holding the women's, surprise, surprise, it's exactly the same. So it's like a gender neutral sort of colour scheme. Now the reason I've got a Kayano and I've got a GT-2000 here as well is to explain the subtle differences in all the shoes and how this little guy was essentially engineered and created. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. Now this shoe has got quite the hype. It's got it's a very exclusive shoe. Not a lot of stores will actually carry it in Australia, and for that matter, not a lot of stores in the northern hemisphere of the globe will carry the MetaRun either. So it's restricted distribution, which is kind of exciting, and we at Sportitude love that. We're obviously a fitting specialist, and we do get some unique shoes from time to time from all the brands. We've got a Kayano here, which has got a fantastic following, 25 years of making a specific series of shoes. You're going to have something right. And obviously the GT version 6 through here, which has got almost the same amount of following over years as the Kayano. So we've got two similar shoes, all designed, three similar shoes, all designed for that medial or over pronator through mid start, so a bit of Joy Max dual density on the medial side. All three shoes have that, slightly different gradients, but they've all got that medial posting. However, you've got a shoe here, the MetaRun, that is really expensive, and there's no denying that. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It comes in at a full price of 320 Australian dollars, comparison to 260 and 200. So paying that money, you want to know you've got something pretty magnificent on your foot. So what I'm going to do here is explain my opinion of this specific shoe and what I found was great about the MetaRun myself. So this is the third color release of this shoe. So I've actually never done a MetaRun review before in all my YouTube time, but I can tell you right now, I've ran in every single model bar this one here, and they are all exactly the same. There is nothing different from this MetaRun to the first MetaRun that was released 24 months ago. It's just colour that's changed. So what I found with the MetaRun initially was it's a very light, high mileage shoe. So what I have ran and done reviews in the Kayanos in the past, the same with GT-2000. Kayano, love it. It's a nice, soft plush shoe underneath the foot. You get ample amount of cushioning. It's a really good, stable, high mileage neutral shoe. GT-2000 on the other hand is a more responsive version of the Kayano. You start on top of the ground, it's nice and light, still get plenty of support underneath that medial arch. However, the cushioning isn't quite as soft as what you get out of the Kayano. Into the MetaRun. This shoe here isn't quite as soft as the Kayano, I need to tell you that at home. However, it is softer than the GT-2000, and it's just as responsive, if not more, than the 2000 itself. So if you're looking for a shoe that's going to give you a bit more of a plusher feel underneath the foot, however, feel a little bit more responsive, and you didn't get that responsiveness out of the Kayano, and you didn't get the cushioning that you wanted out of the GT-2000, into the MetaRun. That's where this shoe comes in through here. So it's a tricky one because it is such a high-end price point. You've got to sit at home and justify whether you want to spend that money on something you're not getting out of two shoes and enter this little guy here. It only comes in the one width, D in men's, B in ladies. I will make one thing clear. I would drop half a size in the MetaRun. Now, that's just my personal experience. I've been a 9 US in both 2000s and the Kayano, and I am an 8.5 in the MetaRun. So there is a different fitting construction with this shoe that I personally found myself. So just keep that in mind if you're thinking about putting this shoe in your running closet. Little additional features in this shoe. We've got the guidance line underneath the foot through here, which is what Asics do in their high mileage shoes. Horizontal flex screws for the forefoot. You've got a very hard wearing rubber on this lateral side of the shoe through here. So the reason they put that in there is because they know that a runner using this shoe is going to want to vary their speeds, hit the ground with some force, and get up onto that midfoot, forefoot. And having a little bit more of a harder rubber through that lateral side of the forefoot is going to give the shoe a little bit more protection. They're protecting the asset of this shoe, and the asset of this shoe is the midsole. So the outsole plays a huge part in protecting that asset. You've got your horizontal flex screws that I touched on. Truss system, which sits in the middle of the shoe through here, which splits the rear cushioning pad from the forefoot responsive cushioning pad through there. Little neat feature. They've put a carbon plate in on that medial side through here as well. So the carbon plate is a stronger component, which is going to help give that trussing system a little bit more integrity. So if I just bring that a little bit closer to the camera, it's hard to see, but you can see that little carbon setup on that medial side through there. So that just adds a little bit more support and integrity to that trussing beam. On top, they've got a mixture of overlays and underlays. So it is a really supportive upper system in the MetaRun. Clutch heel counter. Now, that is called a meta clutch heel counter, and surprise, surprise, it is called a meta clutch heel counter because the first release of the MetaRun, the new heel counter they put on, they called it the meta clutch heel counter, and then they've done different versions of the meta clutch as they've gone through with other shoes in the Asics range. So meta clutch heel counter, which is an external heel counter, gives plenty of support around that collar or the back half of your calcaneus and ankle, which is nice and stable. As you come through the forefoot, it's very light, and the fluid fit upper is nice and breathable and not restrictive on your foot. As I touched on, the overlays you can see on the medial side through here on top just help provide a little bit more integrity on the medial side of this shoe, give it a bit more support. Again, harping back to what this shoe is designed for, it's designed for someone that wants to use it for a long, high mileage running shoe, however, may want to vary their speeds and pick up the speed a little bit. So you need an upper that's going to be able to hold the foot in when you're putting a bit more force through your foot when you're picking up that tempo on some of those runs. So that's what I have to tell you about the MetaRun. Now, pardon me, I should touch on the midsole. It is the Flight Foam midsole with a gel component through the heel unit and a gel component through that forefoot as well, which sits just under your first metatarsal joint. So the last part of your foot leaving the ground, your first metatarsal, let's provide it with a little bit of cushioning, which is what the MetaRun does through there as well. So there you have it, guys. It's a unique shoe. It's certainly got quite a following. We know that we get a lot of emails coming around this time of the year. When's the new MetaRun coming out? And it's exciting when we get to launch this specific shoe. However, there's some of you out there watching this review right now that probably never heard of the shoe, and hopefully I've given you some information as to why Asics have engineered it and where it sits in the high mileage Asics running family. So yeah, any questions, guys, comment on the video below and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Yeah. Until next time, happy running. We'll see you on the road.